it may have been at 18 years old. After, I think, getting waitlisted from Harvard, you're like, well, screw it. My self-belief is actually a lot better than I think. I can do whatever I want. You applied to a government agency
Mm-hmm.
and you got the job.
Yeah.
40 and 50-year-olds with no college degree, minus all the requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about this.
Yeah, so I watched Legally Blonde, and then I was like, wait, she applied to Harvard? And I was like, why don't I do that? So I applied to Harvard, and then obviously that took a while to apply, but I applied, and then they waitlisted me, and it clicked. I was like, what? I was like, I had a horrible SAT score, but because it was COVID, I opted to leave my SAT score off the Harvard application, so I was like, perfect. So I got waitlisted, and then it like that moment changed it for me, because it like completely changed my mindset. So then I was like, wait a second, Maureen, you want to get a good GPA, that way you can get into the best college. Why do you want to get into the best college? That way you can get the best 9-to-5 job ever, and you can make amazing income, and that's going to give you freedom in the future. So I was like, whoa. Why don't I just skip college and go straight to working a successful 9-to-5? So I heard from my entrepreneurship teacher that this marketing agency that specialized in like government marketing was hiring. So I was like, oh, I'll just apply anyway. So I like went on the website, and it said, oh, you need a college degree and you need multiple years outside of college. So I submitted a resume, and I was completely transparent. I told them, I was like, hey, I don't have a degree. I don't have this. I don't have that. However, and then I just explained my views, and I explained the success I had in my cosmetic business and then the other random jobs I had worked through high school. And we went back and forth talking about the algorithm. I kind of talked about how I grew my first Instagram page for my first business. And then I went through like a 3-stage interview process. And at the end of it, they offered me the job. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even need a degree. They said you needed a degree. And then it really clicked for me that like life is a game. You can apply for anything, and the worst thing someone can say is no, and you're in the same place you started. And once that clicked in my brain, everything changed.
Yeah.
So I turned down that job, turned down college. Like I got into a bunch of other colleges, but I turned down all those acceptances. And then I got rejected at Harvard once the waitlist process finalized. So now I have no college lined up and no job. And then a lot of my friends and some family members were like, Maureen, what the heck? You just got like all these amazing opportunities and you said no to all of them. But I remember listening to a podcast, and they said like when you get to a certain level of success, it's like about saying no more than saying yes. And for my entire life, I had said yes to everything. I was in every after school club, basically. I was like any extracurricular I could do, I said yes. And then I started saying no. And I really thought, what is my dream life? And I was like, my dream life is working for myself. So then I think I did even more future painting. I was like, okay, great. What is Maureen, the most successful version, do? I would go to college, get a good college degree, get a 9-to-5, make $100,000 a year plus in a 9-to-5. I'd do that for 5 years until I burn out. Then I'd start a business, work for myself, do that for 5 years. Probably after that, get married. And I was like, wait a second, why don't I just skip to the run my own business, making a lot of money stage? So I did that, and then it worked. I mean, the first 3 months didn't work, but then it worked, and I was like, whoa.
I got to think, though, I think a lot of people think that way, but what's so difficult is the amount of risk you're taking. I think part of the reason why college it's attractive. I think college is great. Am the person I am today because of this school. I would not trade that for the world, but it's also kind of a safety net. Like, you have this to fall back on. So I understand your vision. I understand what you're trying to do. How did you just say, screw it, I don't need a safety net?
I always thought college will always be there.
Okay.
So if anything, I'm just delaying. So I viewed my life in terms of a timeline, and I was like, what if I jump past college, jump past the job, jump straight into the business? If I jump here and I fail, I'll just slide back down the ladder and I can enroll in college. Or I can slide back down the ladder and I can roll into a 9-to-5. Or I can slide back down the ladder to a failing business and start a new business and try to fail there. But I was like, why not just take a huge leap over everything and jump into the most successful pool possible? See if I can swim. If I can't swim, I can always go back to square one, because square one is always going to be there. But square 10, that's where people are trying to get. So I was like, why don't I just jump straight into square 10?